Willie D Live.
What's up, family? A pastor in the United Kingdom is facing a manslaughter charge after a man died while she was baptizing him. Yeah, fam, serious business right here, serious business. How did that happen? Well, allegedly he died, well, not allegedly, it was proven that he died in a kiddie pool, in a padding kiddie pool. Yeah. So anyway, according to the story, this is per ABC. Pastor charged in kiddie pool drowning death during backyard baptism ceremony. A British pastor was charged in connection with the drowning of a 61-year-old man during a baptism ceremony held at a private home in Birmingham nearly 3 years ago, according to prosecutors. The Crown Prosecution Service, otherwise known as CPS, said 48-year-old Cheryl Bartley was charged with one count of gross negligence, manslaughter. The Associated Press reported that Smith drowned in a backyard kiddie pool. The media outlet said the ceremony was organized by Bartley's Life-Changing Ministries and was live streamed on social media. CPS said there was sufficient evidence to bring this to court, adding that it is in the public interest to pursue criminal proceedings. According to the AP, Smith was a grandfather of 7 children and originally from Jamaica. The media outlet said he had lived in the United Kingdom for decades and worked as a barber in London. Okay, fam. So that's that. That's that. The man dies during a baptism in a kiddie pool. Now, they say that he had Parkinson's. So, and this guy was a big guy, right? So it appears that maybe this woman, once she she submerged his head into the water, that she wasn't strong enough to lift him back up. Or, if you want to go there, since some of y'all going there already, I already know y'all going there, perhaps something more nefarious happened here. But why would she do that? Why would she purposely harm him on a live stream? Well, I just answered my own question, really. People do that type of stuff all the time. People do anything to go viral, right? And perhaps she thought she was untouchable. Maybe she did it, and she did it on purpose. And she thought she was untouchable because they did say that afterwards, she made a video talking about the incident. This is after he died. She made a video talking about the incident, saying that the guy was dancing with God. He's now dancing with God. That reminds me of O.J. Simpson after he was acquitted for the murder of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. Like, dude, you was just acquitted of a double homicide in what was then the biggest criminal case in U.S. history, and well, at least in the 21st century. And you want to bring this type of attention to yourself? You go out and write a book called, what was it called? I didn't do it, but if I had, something along those lines. Like, dude, why would you write a book about not killing your wife? Like, you gonna write a book saying, and title it, I didn't do it, but if I had, or something like that. You know what? I want to get that straight, because that was wild. O.J. Simpson's book, If I Did It, or something like that. If I Did It, Confessions of the Killer. Actually, that's what Ron Goldman's family named the book after they acquired the rights. They were granted the rights from a judge because they had a judgment against O.J. Simpson of $30-something million, And that was one of the ways that the judge said that they could get, the judge wanted them to get the money for the judgment. So he granted them the rights to the book. But OJ called the book something else. If I Did It, that's what it's called. Yeah. So OJ's book was called If I Did It. Why would you be accused of a double homicide and then go write a book called If I Did It? If I did it, what? That's madness. Anyway, fam, back to Mr. Smith. That's a cold-blooded way to die, fam. Not just by drowning, but in front of the world, pretty much, because it was streaming. That's a cold-blooded way to die. And for this woman to call herself a pastor and not have safeguards in place to make sure that when she baptized people, that they actually come from out of the water, still breathing, that's reckless. This happened in 2023, by the way. Authorities said that Bartley was leading a baptism service at her home when Smith, a grandfather of 7, who had Parkinson's disease, was submerged in a children's padding pool. The ceremony was being broadcast live on Facebook through a page when the stream abruptly cut off. They say emergency responders were called to the home, but Smith was pronounced dead at the scene. A post-mortem examination later determined the cause of death to be drowning, according to West Midlands Police. And then it talks about what I just mentioned earlier, the woman making a video. The pastor made a video afterwards claiming that she had had a dream and she saw Mr. Smith in heaven dancing with Jesus. She got a court appearance on May 14th. If convicted, she can receive up to 18 years in prison. So she got 1 to 18 years in prison if she's convicted. I think it's really arrogant to be involved in somebody's murder and then go and make a video talking about how you saw that person dancing with Jesus. If I'm the family member, I'm like, let's get her, Earl. Let's get her. Yeah, that's insult to injury, fam. That's insult to injury. She's totally out of pocket. She's totally out of pocket for that. What kind of, I'm just wondering, like, what kind of baptism is she doing? Well, when somebody died, I don't think I've ever heard of anybody dying during a baptism. But I am sure that somebody has died during a baptism because some of those churches have pools, and I bet you every one of those pastors can't swim, and every one of those people who were baptized couldn't swim. So imagine the pastor's up there, and it's just the pastor and the parishioner, the person is being baptized. And you know how some of those churches, they'll have the pool inside of the church, like where you can see it, like behind the pulpit, like so you can see it. But even further than that, what about all of the baptisms throughout the years where people went out to lakes and other bodies of water to be baptized? I'm sure there have been deaths. Hell, I'm sure that some pastors have purposely held people's heads down in that water a little too long. Yeah. Can't put nothing past people, fam. I don't mean to sound like a pessimist, fam, but I just don't have a lot of faith. I don't have a lot of faith. I don't have a lot of faith in people. I just don't have a lot of faith in people. Some people, but just overall, especially Americans. especially Americans. No more talk.